So we asked ChatGPT 10 things about ourselves that we don't already know yet. What truth have I been circling for years but refuse to name out loud?
What truth have I been circling for years? Could you explain further?
Absolutely. So the psyche often hides unbearable clarity behind distraction. So whether that's work, gym, relationships, personal, professional, whatever it might be, just it will preoccupy you so you don't look through a deep lens at something that might be causing you grief or unhappiness or uncertainty maybe. So these truths that we've been circling for years but refuse to name out loud, sometimes we need to actually hammer down in and really put a singular point on.
Okay.
So when I think about this quote or this question that ChatGPT has asked us, I think about loneliness. So I think there is a truth to my life that I am somewhat lonely. Not in terms of friendships. I feel extremely blessed with the friends that I have around me and the people that have helped me build my life and support the decisions I make. But when it comes to romantic relationships, a paramour to share life with, that is something that I have definitely thought about the last few years, but it was definitely something I refused to admit out loud. Also because we live in a world where we are taught that it's okay to be single, you should be strong being single. And I'm like, you know what? I am happy being single. I can travel the world by myself. I can very much have experiences for myself, by myself, and enjoy them for what they are. But in my mind, life is meant to be shared with someone. And I've definitely maybe avoided the last few years thinking the opposite or just blocking out those emotions. So the truth I've been circling but refuse to name is that I feel lonely sometimes.
That hits home. YouTube's a lonely job.
I can imagine it's quite isolating.
Yeah, especially when your girlfriend works like 14-hour days. Because like she leaves when it's dark, she gets back when it's dark. I wake up 2 hours after her. I would prefer to go to bed 2 hours before she gets home. So it's just all day on my own. So I'm very lucky that I've got my grandparents that live locally and I'm able to go out for coffees with them. But there's days where I call them up and say, hey, do you want to go out for a coffee or something? And they've got something to do that day, so they can't. And it's like, okay, now what? Like I could be doing work, but you know when you just need human contact, it's like Absolutely. I just don't have that. So the motivation to work is not there.
Do you think work hides that for you? Do you think that's a nice shield that can protect from feeling that uncomfortableness? And I'm not saying that this necessarily is this big groundbreaking issue for you, but do you think sometimes overproductivity or overstimulation can help shield that?
Yeah, live streaming definitely, because you're talking to people.
You are getting some sort of interaction, although it's not face-to-face, you're getting that interaction through a screen.
If I do loads of live streams in a week, it's probably because I'm pretty lonely. I enjoy them. It doesn't mean that I enjoy the live streams any less. It's just the reasoning there isn't just, I'm doing this because I'm a YouTuber. It's like, no, I'm doing this because I am a lonely man who's basically living alone on the days that his girlfriend's away.
I think loneliness is something that all of us struggle with at some point in our life. Especially as we move more towards digital world, working from home culture, we are ever so slightly isolating ourselves day by day and moving away from that community mindset. Something that's weighed on my mind recently is sometimes when I go to the office, I forget how to converse with people because I work from home all day and I'll just be there working away, I'll do my thing. And then when I go to the office, I'm like, wow, there's actually people here. And I need to remember what kind of questions do you ask someone to have a decent conversation, which is ironic because it's different to what we do here. But that almost obligatory small talk, you know, no one wants to ask. I saw this video actually on social media that said this guy was on Tinder and he got surprised by a question because it was, when was the last time you cried? He'd done this whole beautiful poem about all these different times in his life where he could recall that. But he was like, but this is Tinder. So I said, probably the last time England lost in the World Cup. You know, he made a joke of it. Yeah. But sometimes I forget about that when we interact with people. Some people don't want to just dive straight into that like deep place. They just want that small talk. And I feel like because we're isolating ourselves in this digital world, it's really hard to have those sort of light-hearted, easy conversations sometimes.
I think also there's people put a lot of pressure on it. It's like the first exposure to anything, you build it up in your head and whatever. And when you don't do something for a long time, it's like the first day back to work after a 2-week holiday. It's like there's apprehension there. And I think it's the same when you don't have in-person conversations with people that you aren't over familiar with. There's that apprehension there. It's like, and you forget necessarily the dynamic of your relationship with that person as well. Like, is this somebody that I usually have deep conversations with, or is this somebody that it is just like water cooler chat? You know, it's some of the hardest conversations to have. Like when I'm tennis coaching and I'm speaking to the parents, it's like when the parent just lingers that 5 seconds extra, super awkward, super fast. It's like I can be trusted to look after your kid. It's like, I just don't know how to talk to you. It's like we've spoken about the weather. We've spoken about what we plan to do today. You're still stood here. Like, this is the bit where you go.
Are you missing the social cue or am I? One of us is messing up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think loneliness, is really deeply ingrained. And I think there is this isolation now that men and women are feeling when it comes to romantic relationships. I don't know if it's impacting men or women more, or even if that's a discussion that's worth having, because ultimately if it's something people are experiencing, we shouldn't then argue about who has it worse, because...
Yeah, it's also... I saw Chris Williamson talk about this, and he was saying, just because you show support for one group doesn't mean you're making the decision not to support the other group. Two things can be true at once. It's like men can have it hard and women can have it hard, and black people can have it hard and Jews can have it hard and Muslims can have it hard and Christians can have it hard, and everyone can have it difficult. And you can show support for one of those groups while still thinking, yeah, but they don't have it easy.
Yeah.
You know?
We've been taught that it's us versus them culture.
Yeah.
One can't coexist with the other, which is the argument that is coming up a lot now in the men versus women, that's an awful phrasing, but men's mental health is suffering, and there's been a big push to help support men again. And a lot of men are doing this in the expense of women. So to help build men up, they need to bring women down, which is completely false, because again, it's that us versus them. These men feel threatened because women are finally getting the rights that they have longed and worked for and ultimately very much deserve. But men then don't know how to deal with this dynamics. They're struggling, so they think the only way to get back to it is to push women down. It's this us versus them mentality, which again creates loneliness and disconnect because people don't know how to have a conversation.
Yeah. And I think also maybe there's so many different sources of inspiration and paths for people to go down now. Finding the others is becoming more and more difficult. So finding... Like, for goodness sake, I've got 400,000 subscribers and I can't find other channels with 400,000 subscribers that talk to me back. It's like it's so difficult to get in contact with them. But it's even on like the same, if you're a AI specialist, there's probably some group chats there. But in terms of meeting them in face-to-face reality, it's probably not going to find that many. And it's, farmers. Like, maybe your small knit community. But outside of that, like... It's very, very difficult. What was it? On the point of men's mental health and the importance of like the next generation, the number one common denominator between prison inmates is fatherlessness in the home.
That's really sad.
It's a higher predictor that you will end up in prison than being white, being black, being of a religion. Anything. It's like that is the single most common denominator.
I think my thoughts on that is because we've lost what fatherhood is and should be. Motherhood is very much as it should be respected as a very admirable way to live life, because ultimately you are supporting a human, and sometimes we've lost what the father can bring to that child, because I've heard so many people say, well, the man is just there for the discipline. It's incorrect. Like, the child needs a father figure.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, men are not losing their place in the world, but it's being redefined, and men are struggling with that.
Yeah, definitely. I think the number one thing a father can be is just present. Like, you just got to be there. Like, you want to have a conversation with me? Cool. You don't? You just want me to hang out and play Lego with you? Cool. Like, just having that open door to them being able to come to you and be like, hey, can we go and kick a football outside? Like, yeah, just do it. It's
Absolutely.
just being there for them. Yeah, did you see Chris Williamson's conversation with John Bellion, by the way?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, so it's just been released. John Bellion is my idol of all time.
Incredible musician, artist,
I
creator.
cannot believe that Chris Williamson put a thing out with him, because he pretty much, well, recently he's been doing more, but doesn't really do podcasts or any sort of social media. He doesn't get it. He doesn't have social media on his phone. It's so the fact they did that conversation was just crazy.
Wow, that's cool.
3 hours as well. I think it's 3 hours.
I'll have to take a listen. That'd be a 3-parter for us.
Yeah.
So, Will, was there any other truth that you have been circling for years but refused to name out loud? Again, for me, it was loneliness when it comes to romantic relationships and partners. And I am scared. I'll say this with you. I am scared I'm going to get to a later part of my life and I won't have a partner. I saw this video again on social media that interviewed men that have got to the later part of their life and have never been married or have children and everything. And their stories were heartbreaking. And part of me empathizes because I'm like, like it must be horrible to get to 40, 50 and think you've never been anyone's first choice. And I'm scared that that's something that might, play out in my life. So that is something I refuse to name out loud, but I also understand that it's more nuanced than that. There's choices involved and lives lived that very much play a role. But yeah, that's my truth.
No, I appreciate you sharing that. I've been trying to think of I think I have said it out loud, so it probably nullifies it for this point, but I think it's just very true for me, which is I crave attention. And it's not something I'm proud of. It's not something I understand really where it's come from. I think I might have said in a previous podcast that it's like I had attention as a kid, and as you become an adult, you get less attention because everyone's like, oh no, you're an adult, you've got things sorted. So chasing that with no means of an end, it just seems silly, difficult, and it also nullifies everything I do in my work. If I get rid of my job is to chase attention, that's it. It's like I don't get paid unless I get attention. Very dangerous thing for me. It's great because I've got the ferocity to go after it, but at the same time it's like I think it's probably the most least healthy thing I could be doing. I think I need to acknowledge the fact that it's okay to not be the center of attention all the time. That's a lesson I need to learn. And I really think so many of my... this is probably a really dangerous thing to say, and I may come to regret it. But I think I'll come to a greater understanding of where I sit in the world when I have kids. Because I'll just have, you are now my number one focus.
Why would you ever regret saying that? Because I think you're absolutely right. I think...
Whereas people say don't have kids to fix your own problems.
But you're not fixing problems there. I think what you're doing is you are finding greater meaning in your life. I speak to one of our joint friends that is a father, and he said having a child has just given his life so much more meaning and purpose because he can give everything undivided love and attention to protect that human. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And again, it comes back to what I was saying earlier, is I think fatherhood is very much misunderstood and ignored as how important it is. And I don't think there's anything wrong with suggesting that it will give your life greater meaning and purpose.
Yeah. Something I've been thinking about.
I like it. Number 2. Whose voice lives rent-free in my head? And how much of my life have I built to please it?
Somebody that I think we've both looked up to in the past. You probably know who I mean. But yeah, just every decision is put through a filter of... I don't know why. I don't know why I care. So that's the other thing.
Isn't it interesting when we reflect on it as we don't know how that person's voice lives in our head?
Yeah.
Why do you think that person's voice lives in there? And I'm not expecting us to get to the deep-rooted understanding of it. And just play around in it. Let's try and understand.
I literally no idea. It's maybe she was a figure of authority for a while. So that's an element of it. There's an element of like I need to prove myself, and like that approval is worth chasing. But I don't know, it doesn't mean that I necessarily like the person.
Absolutely. I don't think this question implies that you need to like the person for their voice to live rent free. Arguably, you could say that it is going to be the person that causes you the most grief or drive, whether that's positive or negative, is going to live in there, because that's going to be the fuel, whether that's positive or negative, whether that's a reason for you to explore something or whether it's a reason for you to give up on something.
No, that's the main one, but especially over the last 5 years for some reason. Don't know why.
Maybe it's because it's such a strong personality, such a agreeable but also disagreeable personality. They are an authority figure in a lot of people's lives that we know, and they've done a really great job at trying to help us all navigate some really difficult times in our life, that maybe just through that presence it's become someone that we all have put a little bit higher than the rest of us. But I might be wrong, because ultimately parents, partners, teachers, preachers, anyone that we put as a slightly higher pedestal than us, their thoughts, feelings, echoes can all become inner judgments for us, because we can adopt those mindsets and feel that they're our own.
Yeah.
So the question isn't who influenced you, but who are you still performing for?
Yeah, that's a really good phrasing. Yeah, I think it's just chasing approval generally. I don't think there necessarily is a particular person. I think the characters' faces change, but it's just like, no, I need to prove to everyone that I'm actually doing well. It's like, well, that's a really dumb game. I'm just doing really the more I talk and the more I edit the podcast and look, it's like everything I'm saying is just like, so I'm such a damaged person. It's like,
I disagree with that.
I'm talking about like how my life only has worth because I'm chasing attention, and I need more attention to make my life have more worth, and I'm never going to be happy unless everybody watches me. And then it's like, oh well, I have all these insecurities and problems about making sure I've got enough attention, and like my focus is so much on money, but that's really like the side project of me just having somewhere to put all this energy in my life into something. And then if I have kids, then I'll be able to just focus 100% on the kids. But I'm worried actually somebody with such an unstable philosophy about the world, should they really be having kids and growing up kids in the world when they don't have it sorted? Like, but then, well, when anyone ever have it sorted? You know, I just spiral out.
Do you know what I hear in that is an awareness? There's so many people that navigate life without awareness of oneself, and that awareness is all you need, because then you can start understanding things through different eyes, start navigating slightly differently, and ultimately you are hyper aware of who you are and how you're working, and it's made you into a very successful human. And everyone's got their flaws, everyone's got their things that make them slightly more productive or less productive than others, and I don't hear anything there that you should judge yourself too harshly about. I think that's just a lot of weight that you're putting on yourself and a lot of expectation. And sure, maybe one day, through you and I talking through whatever self-discovery method you might choose, you might get to where that deep-rooted feeling is, and it might be completely different to what you've ever thought it might be. But you're not ever going to know, and ultimately it's just looking at it all with slightly kind eyes, because you're not hurting someone, you're not hurting, you're in a very good place, you give love like unconditionally, you receive love unconditionally, you've got goals, aspirations, and you're working towards them. I don't see anything wrong there. See, this is the problem with self-development though, isn't it, really? It's once you start looking, you start seeing more and more issues. I would just say you're maybe early stages of the understanding process, because there's times you'll look back and go, ultimately, yeah, like this is who I am as a person. All these intricacies, all these unique quirks are what make me me. And sure, there might be things I want to adjust, but I'm also me, and I'm proud of who I am and my quirks and my weird anxieties. So why should I change that?
Yeah.
And ultimately, to bring it back to the whose voice lives in your head rent free, you said about approval, the freedom will begin once you try and stop trying to chase that person's approval.
I know, that's the horrible bit. But it's the voice in your head. You can't get it out. It sucks.
Do you think you can get it out?
I don't think so. I think there's always somebody in your head.
Do you think maybe it's just a framing for one's own insecurities?
Could be. I think so much of it as well is like just the... It could be just the voice of my potential. It's like, okay, but if I have all this potential and I actively choose not to earn loads and loads of money when I might have the brain to actually be able to do it, and I put loads of effort in towards my kids, that is obviously a very noble and a good thing to do. Like, obviously your kids deserve all your attention. And then at the same time, I have a voice in my head that's like, yeah, but you still need to prove to the rest of the world that you are better than them, and therefore you must earn the most money. It's like, that doesn't make me better than anybody, first of all. Second of all, why do I care? When I will have kids and have my family life, why will I care so much about how I'm perceived? Like, it doesn't matter. That's just noise.
I would argue, from what I understand about you, you're not chasing outward approval.
Really?
I would say you're chasing inward acceptance.
Yeah, that's fair, actually.
And I don't think that when you get the most amount of money, you've out-earned everyone that you could possibly think of, or people look at you as such positive high regard, it will change anything.
No.
I think you are chasing inward acceptance. And arguably, I think where you're at is the shaky beginning, where you have maybe never looked at these things before. You've started to, and now you're picking apart everything that makes you you and thinking it's wrong.
Yeah.
Because that's where we start. We start thinking, oh my God, who we are is wrong, which is false. You are who you are because of the life you have lived and will continue to live, and nothing is wrong about that.
Mm. But there are such things as wrong decisions.
Absolutely. But you only know they're wrong with hindsight.
Yeah, but going forward, like, I'm terrified of making it. Like, between age 0 and 22, I don't think I made any wrong decisions.
I would disagree. Because they're only wrong decisions based on your own judgment of how you think your life should go. There's no such thing as a wrong decision. In my mind, there's no such thing as wrong decision.
I only made right decisions, sorry. Yeah, is that what I said?
No, you said you don't think you made any wrong decisions.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't. Like, I played it exactly how I planned to play everything.
I don't think there's any such thing as making a wrong decision, because making a decision, even if it's wrong, is the correct choice.
Mm.
And I think when you were younger, your goals and your values were easier to understand and accept. Whereas now, as you've gotten older, you've started looking more at what life can offer you. And the picture's got maybe a little bit greater, but also clearer in the same way, because you're very much aligned with who you are and your goals and how you want to get there. And right now, you're thinking that there's such thing as wrong decisions. Again, I disagree. It's not making a decision that's wrong. And you're only going to know it's incorrect until it plays down the line. But ultimately, you'll be further ahead than where you would have been had you not made a decision.
Mm.
And you'll be where you are because of the decisions you've made. But if you make the best decision you can with the information that's available to you at that point, how can anything ever be a wrong decision?
Yeah, it's true.
Unless it is glaringly obvious and you are ignoring all of the information that's available to you.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm worried. It's like I go through these phases where I like put the blinders on and I'm just going to do this as if the world was in a vacuum and in isolation. Like, there's certain decisions business-wise that I would make. Like, for example, getting an editor. All the glaring things are, don't hire an editor. You don't need one. It's just you want to make progress when you're not getting any other signals about progress. Like, views are down. Subscription rate is down. Like, money is down. Everything is down. I know what I'll do. I'll start spending loads of money. It's like, that is stupid.
It's only stupid now in the moment. If it ends up paying off, it'll be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And you don't know until it's played out. And ultimately, do you know the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Exactly. What you've done there is you've changed an input.
Yeah. But then at the same time, you've got to be patient. You've got to have consistency, even in the face of things not working, which is doing the same thing over and over and over again.
But you've got that. You do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure that you put on yourself, and you will get there.
I don't know if I will. I think I'm just doomed to be screwed.
I disagree. But it's a hard place to put yourself in, and it's a hard place to accept outward inputs. So all I'm going to say is I empathize. But life is inherently positive, and you will continue to make life in a positive way. I have no doubt.
I do wonder how much of it is to do with the weather turning.
Yes, absolutely. Seasonal depressive. What is it? SAD.
Yeah.
Seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, it's raining. I can hear the rain on the window. It just makes me want to die. Like,
miserable.
I just want to not do work today.
Yeah, we get very few hours of daylight. It's gross. I'd start work and it's dark, and then I finish work and it's dark.
It sucks. But I am curious to know, who is the voice in your head?
Voice in my head. I reckon you can work it out. But again, I don't think it is this person. I think it's just who I've placed my insecurities on. And it's got less as time's gone on. And I'll explain what I mean. But
Over the last 3 years?
Yes, it is my ex who is living rent-free in my head. But it's not my ex. It's my insecurities placed onto my ex. What I mean by that is, when we broke up, everyone expected that I would be the one that went off travelling and she would stay in the UK. And it was completely the opposite. She went off to Bali, I stayed here.
Do you reckon that was because she went away? Or was your first thought not even, right, I'm going to go?
No, my first thought was to just stay here. Like, why change things? But I think in that moment, I was like, am I doing something wrong? Should I have done this? She's living right. She's made the right choices because she's done X, Y, Z. And ultimately, if I'd gone and she'd stayed, it would have been the same thing. So it's not her voice that lives rent-free in my head. It's my insecurities of my choices that I've made portrayed onto someone else. I don't know if I've spent a life trying to please it, because I think I always try and align with my highest values of what I perceive or what I want from life, which is an authentic, real experience. But I'm always fearful of the life I'm living is incorrect. And I think because of that person being such a pivotal person in my life, it's easy to project insecurities of my own onto her. And that's not fair on her, but ultimately she's living in my brain more than she's actively playing out in my life, if that makes sense. So I think for me, it is that person, because I'm not chasing their approval, I'm chasing mine. The decisions I've made are the right ones to have made. The person hasn't necessarily influenced me, but I feel like I'm trying to perform a life that is great enough to deserve her love, when in reality it's my love I'm chasing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think actually that was probably the most... I would say it's probably quite a common person to hold in such a high regard and then place your insecurities onto, because it's the person you feel like safest with, and and then when things don't work out, it's like, okay, but you know everything about me and you've given up on me.
And ultimately now I'm living in a world, or my reality, that the person that is living in my head, my ex that is living in my head, is not the person living out in real life, because I haven't seen her in 2 years. We haven't conversed. She's living her own life, and I wish her well with the bottom of my heart. I wish her well and hope she has the best, fantastic life full of love and, achieves her dreams, whatever these might be. But the person I've created is separate from that person. It's a separate entity now.
It's your voice with her face.
Yeah, this is exactly it. This is why almost when people see their ex again, the glass will shatter and go, oh my God, you're not you're not who I think you are.
Yeah.
Which is so ironic, and they're probably thinking the same thing, because everyone creates this picture of this person, whether it's an ex, it's an old teacher, whether it's someone, whatever it might be. We place this person up there, but then we just fill them with our thoughts, insecurities, and mindless rambles.
I think also the year after a breakup is the time when individuals do the absolute most self-development.
Absolutely.
Or they don't, and they're just a destroyed person. But I think on the whole, anyone that then goes on and accepts their life and carries on do a lot of self-development in that first year. So you are a very different person to the person that was in the relationship as well. So it's like from both sides, you're going away from what those two people were.
Yeah.
And I think it's for the better most of the time, because I think you just gain perspective. You get to basically redesign your life from scratch, which is incredibly daunting. But then a year in, it's like, okay, I sort of know where I stand now. Yeah. I've got my points of reference, and I know.
This is it. I said this the other day. I can't remember if I said it to you, but I said it to someone. I can't remember if I said it on here either. And I would never have said this 2 years ago, or however long it was, maybe a year and a half ago. But I'm grateful that we broke up. I'm grateful for all that pain I went through. I'm grateful for the real tough year that I went through, because it has made me such a strong person now. I'm so grateful that I've had this opportunity to do this work on myself. I don't want to go through it again. But
I'm gonna say, you sadist.
I do not want to go through that again. But it's got me where I am. And again, it's almost irrelevant of this person. And again, I wish this person well. I don't know if she will ever see or hear or watch this, because
she'll see the most recent episodes when we're at 1 million subs, because it will be on everyone's recommendations.
True. Very true. And I'll still be talking the same bullshit.
And she'll be like,
damn, he lives in the Philippines and he has a hell of a life.
This month. And then next month he lives in Australia.
I don't know, mate. We'll see. So yeah, that's whose voice lives rent-free in my life. What do I secretly envy? And what does that envy reveal about what I've abandoned in myself?
What do I secretly envy, and what does the envy reveal that I've abandoned about myself?
Yes, it points, so envy would point towards unlived potential in many ways. So for me, I keep saying it, I hate doing that.
For me.
I hate it. It's my trigger.
You know what mine is?
What's that?
It's...
Yeah, we have to pick up on them. So what do I secretly envy? And what does that envy reveal about what I've abandoned in myself? So when I reflect on this one, it makes me think about the choice I've recently made, which is to leave my job and travel, because there's places in the world I've always wanted to go. And when I've heard people talk about them and the life they've lived in that experience, I have always been envious. I don't really get envious about the people that were higher up in my company and go, ooh, I wish I had that problem to deal with. There's a tsunami or a cyclone over Sri Lanka, and they're dealing with all the problems. I wish the people were in Sri Lanka. But, do I want to be handling it and all the thousands of people that are on the ground for company? No, I don't. Maybe I should. But I envy the people that have gone out and lived this incredible experience. And that's ultimately why I have come to this decision to leave my job quite abruptly, with not as much funds as I would like to have had.
Within a month, it went from, I'm going to leave January 2027 to, I'm leaving in 4 weeks.
That is literally what happened. It's great. But I was reflecting on this. I don't have the money I wanted to have. I don't have as much organisation with this as I would like to have had, but ultimately there's no right time to make this decision, and I'd be in the same place a year from now. So I'm like, why not just do it now?
Yeah, bought yourself an extra year is another way to look at it.
Yeah, exactly. So the envy that it reveals about myself is that I do value freedom, I do value experiences, but I am also very curious about what this trip is going to mean for me. And we should do an episode on my thoughts before.
Yeah.
And we'll do it before leaving as well, and when I come back. But I'm curious about what this trip will reveal, because I'm going to be 30 and I'm going to have really no responsibilities other than to edit and plan stuff for the pod. I'll have a fair bit of money when it comes to Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
I'll be able to live pretty well. And I'm curious what that will reveal for me, because I won't be the same 23-year-old, 22-year-old, 21-year-old that was in these other, like Costa Rica, Mexico, where I had no responsibilities and I was just happy sitting on a beach. I'm curious about what it's going to reveal and whether that envy that I've been feeling is valid. I think this is going to be a very pivotal year for me. Again, I think I've had 3. I'm in my second, but I think this is going to be a third pivotal year.
But I think it's important. I think it's just the journey, isn't it? That is exactly what that is.
Yeah, and that's what I want life to be. It's a journey. I want my life, when I look back, to be a compilation of experiences. And when I look back on my photos, so my Google Photos has photos from when I was 15 all the way up to where I am now, and I'm like, I've done some cool shit, dude. Yeah. And I love it. It fills me with so much joy. Sadness because the timing's gone, but also
yeah,
joy.
I really hope I'm not the person who has to put together the picture reel for your funeral. How the hell am I going to choose through all of them? It's like, well, it's going to be a 4-hour talk, but he's been to and in this place he did
Wow. Let's hope neither of us ever has to do that. We're going out on the same day together.
Yeah.
Blades of Glory.
Yeah, we could do like kamikaze planes.
We could.
For a YouTube video, live stream.
Wow. Could you imagine?
It would break their terms of service.
Yes, absolutely it would.
We're
coming for you, YouTube.
It's live.
So a cool way to look at it is, instead of hiding that envy, trace it back to the version of you that's still wanting to exist.
Yeah.
Clever way to look at it, really, because the envy is maybe showing you something in your life that you're missing or want to reclaim. Is there anything you secretly envy, Will? This is what I want to know, because you have cultivated a life. And I use that word in the best way possible.
Yeah, what do I envy? I think I envy people who can guilt-free go out with their friends on an evening, just have a nice conversation, catch up, and then return to their lives. Like, and there's just no pressure. There's no like, oh, I should be doing this, and you know, like I definitely envy people who can do that. I envy those who live in Australia.
Interesting.
I'd like to live over there.
Do you think that's ever on the cards for you?
Not with Soph.
No,
she wouldn't ever move.
Maybe
once her parents die, there's a chance. For me, I don't care.
Challenge accepted.
But I completely get it. It's like it's a big decision to move country, and let alone the other side of the world where it literally takes 24 hours to get to you.
Yes.
Or get back if there's an emergency. Like it's a difficult decision. So I'm jealous of people who have been able to move out to Australia. And envious. Anything else?
I like that you're struggling to come up with something, because it shows you are living pretty authentically with.
Well, I don't put any weight. I don't give it the time of day to think about, because at the end of the day, envy doesn't help me. Jealousy doesn't help me.
No, but what it suggests there is, you said you envy people that are able to go out for an evening, just have a really connected, present evening. So maybe that's just what you are looking for. It's just the ability to maybe disconnect and take some of the pressure off yourself.
Yeah. Like, my brain is always on, and I hate it.
Because you're never going to be one of these people that just relaxes and, you know, is disconnected from work.
Hopefully.
Well, you're not. That's not the way. No, but you're not ever going to be like that. Not in a negative sense, but you're not going to be someone that just, you know, my work is my work and I'll leave it there. It is what it is.
Yeah, no, I care too much.
Which is great. But maybe if you're able to reclaim some of that presence, that connection that you can feel when you connect with people on a day-to-day, when it's out going for lunch or dinner or whatever it might be, when we go to Yummy Noodle, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe that's just something you work on, you know? And again, this
I just need to do it more as well. I forget that it's okay for me to message into the group chat and say, hey, can we all go out for a meal?
Yeah.
It's like, there's nothing wrong with me doing that. But in my head, I'm like, yeah, but I know how much work I've got to do. Other people probably have loads of work they've got to do. I don't want to be an inconvenience to everyone, so I just won't message.
That's a shame, because we need connection. We spoke about this. Point number one, we need connection. People do feel lonely. And I'm not saying everyone would take you up on the offer, but people would.
Yeah.
I would always try. Unless it contradicts a gym session I have, then absolutely
or
not.
anything else.
No, I love it.
I went for a run yesterday.
Did you?
I did. I think it was 22 minutes. I ran.
Nice,
I
man.
ran round the block. I think it's 2.5k.
Nice,
So
dude.
it was pretty slow pace. I think.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, but I was dead by the end of it. My legs are actually hurting. I did a leg day. My legs weren't hurting. I did a run. My legs are cooked. But that's part of me trying to be more well-rounded. Bit of fresh air, put on some music, just, I'm trying to make stride. The last 3 weeks have been very interesting because YouTube is going really poorly and I just don't seem, like, with my actions, I don't seem to care. I'm putting more weight on, I want to be a better boyfriend. Like, Soph and I went out to do a date night. We recreated our very first date, which was quite nice.
Love it.
Except we didn't go to Five Guys because it's literally shit.
What?
I hate Five Guys. It's not food. It's for pigs.
It is, absolutely, but that's the best way for it. I've got the
They
best...
might as well serve it in a trough. It's horrific.
The best time I've ever had Five Guys is when I was in the States.
Yeah, but
No.
America's
Are you
different.
ready for this? We drove from the camp we were working 2.5 hours to one of the biggest wake parks in the States, so wakeboarding.
Yeah.
I kid you not, me and these 4 other guys, we did not stop for the 6-hour session we had. We did not stop for food. We had a little bit of water. We were just vibing all day. And then when we got to Five Guys,
You ate.
oh my god, we were all there like, oh. It was great. Sorry, Five Guys. You're about to disrespect Five Guys.
Yeah, no, it's horrible stuff. I don't know what the American one's like, but I imagine it tastes better than the UK one because they
Pretty the
sweeten
same.
everything. No, they sweeten everything. Like the McDonald's in America tastes better than it does here.
True. I love that they got McGriddles out in the States.
I don't know what a McGriddle is.
It's so they have breakfast all day, which should be standard everywhere in the world. Breakfast food is the best food, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Come at me, it is the best food.
Bacon.
It's the 2 little pancakes they have, like
I'm
as
not
a
fan of
bun.
pancakes.
You and I are gonna fall out.
No, we went to Nando's instead.
Oh yeah, good choice.
So yeah, and that's when I posted my story of me trying to be like Erie,
Yeah.
where I was filming the food. But yeah, so I'm trying to do more things like that, and obviously we're going on holiday in a few weeks. I know I said when I came back from, in 2 days. Sorry, I'm going on holiday, not a few weeks. I know I said when we came back from Wales that I'm gonna try and go on holiday every month, and that was like 3 months ago. Yeah, it's just a horrible psychological barrier because I'm like, I could go, but not only is this like time out, which is good, it financially sets us back quite substantially. It's like, so when we're, I don't know, 2 grand, 3 grand, 4 grand away from a house, are we going to be like, we probably should have just not gone on 4 holidays?
I disagree. I think life is meant to be lived, and sure, you want to work towards a goal, but it's not. You're not ever gonna throw everything away. You know, there's people that say, "Oh, I'm saving for a house." You've been saving for a house for the house deposit for 10 years, mate. What are you doing? It's because they go out, they buy shit food, like they get a pack of cigarettes a day or whatever it might be. You're not doing that, but these unique experiences where life is. Life has to exist somewhere. Because otherwise, you're just going to be so focused on the goal. You'll get there and be like, cool, we've achieved the goal.
Yeah, I'm really hoping I'll relax. I'm really hoping I'll get the house. And I'll be like, well, like the biggest goal in my life was 100,000 subs. The fact that I've 4x that is just nuts to me.
Mental,
I still
yeah.
can't believe it. The next one that I've always had is a house. Once I've got, because now the pressure for me on YouTube is sort of off. It's like, as long as I can earn enough to live, I don't really care if it's like crazy money. Like, it'd be nice, but I'm not gonna, I don't know, if I don't achieve X amounts of millions from YouTube and I'm just able to live comfortably for the rest of my life, I'm perfectly fine with that. And I know also, if I think, oh, I want to up my income, all I do is I work more. It's like, it's quite an easy correlation, or work smarter, or whatever, however you want to put it. And then buying the house is like, cool, I've got the house, it's detached, it's got a garden, I've got kids. Like, now my job is just to, like, I can see how that would be a quite easy, like in my head I'm already thinking like I can see the breaker switch approaching. I'm just ready to flip it and like go down a whole different path of life. Which seems really stupid because so many people would change their, like they would pay to be in my position. Like how, like the very fact I don't even consider earning from social media to be like amusing or whatever. But so many people that I've spoken to would be like, "You earn from social media?" It's like it's just a crazy concept.
But again, so maybe this is it: is you don't have many envies because you've aligned with your highest purpose at this moment.
Yeah, I suppose.
So maybe that's a really great place to be. Is you're not looking at someone else's life and go, "Oh, I wish I had that."
Yeah, I wouldn't trade any of my problems for other people's problems. Like I struggle enough with my own. I don't want to struggle with other people's. Like, yeah, I think maybe it's an approach that I'd like to help other people get to, which is like just be grateful for whatever you've got. It's just practice gratitude all the time. I do it every day. It's like even when I'm talking to you, it seems like I'm sort of caveating around the thing, but really it's just showing my appreciation and my gratitude for like the fact I've been able to get here. It's sort of now the 3.5 years just seems like a blur. It's like where, how, like just speechless constantly. It's like, what is this? Why am I the lucky one that gets? Not only did I get to survive when I was a kid, I got to be able to get to here, and like both things are extremely against the odds. It makes no sense to me.
But you're showing gratitude, which is awesome, which is the main thing. You know, you've got to have a life full of gratitudes. Because ultimately that's what brings happiness. Or allows you to feel happiness.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gratitude. You know, you go to places in the world where people have the least amount, but they're so grateful for where they are. And they're probably some of the happiest people on the planet.
Yep. Did you know the UK is the second most depressed place in the world?
Does not surprise me.
Do you know number one is?
Where?
Uzbekistan.
Really?
Yeah. The one of the happiest places on earth, and this is up to date, by the way.
Yeah.
Is Ukraine.
Wow.
Crazy. They're in the middle of a 4-year war against Russia. Germany ranks higher than us. They've just put out a census in their country, getting an idea of what the numbers are like for 18-year-olds that could be signed up to the army for a war against Russia if necessary. Like they want to become a military superpower again. Like I think things are going to kick off in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Which is slightly concerning, and I would like to think that mine is a job of necessity because people in the time of war need entertainment. But I've got a feeling if there was another COVID, I wouldn't be seen as a key worker. So I don't think I don't think I have a high chance of getting away with that one.
Sorry, you go back to Sainsbury's again.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
You can go
That
back
was
to
so
wiping
good.
totes.
And the thing, if I could do that without the pressure as well, like, but the thing is, you're not going to need a Tesco's or a Sainsbury's, bless you.
Thank you.
Or a Tesco's or a Sainsbury's if there's a war, because people aren't going to be. Maybe they would be, but I don't know who would be shopping there, because like we're in a world of no discrimination, so like all the men and women would go to war. You'd
We'll
have to have
see.
like women's league and men's league.
Maybe we'll wait and see if that ever happens.
Yeah, it just hopefully it doesn't, but it just seems war where it costs physical bodies now just seems extremely useless, because all you're doing is you're saying, look, we've got these nuclear weapons, but we're going to choose to put you through a slower and more agonizing death.
Yeah, but I think the whole idea that we have nuclear weapons is absurd. The fact that the people around the world have the ability to destroy,
Wipe out the world.
wipe out the world, and everyone's just kind of going, yeah, we're not going to use it if you don't, is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a gun, but everyone's like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
The thing is, there's no consequences to doing it
Because everyone will be gone.
because everyone's dead. So, like, where meaning is in the world, it's like there would be no meaning after you push that button.
Because everyone would then push that button.
Yeah, and then the whole world's just done. Or the noble thing would be, you fired it towards us, but I'm choosing the human race as the target to keep the humans alive, therefore we're not going to fire back. We're just going to die. And yet you will be the superior race. It's like that would be the hard decision that you'd have to make. Like, do we just end humanity here because I'm angry that you've pushed the button and I didn't first? Or it's really difficult. I think if I was in that place, it's like if I was in the government, I'd be having serious conversations about what is the goal. Is the goal to be, while we're all alive, for me to be the top dog and I fired back? Or is it like, no, surely our goal is just to keep the human race alive?
I think the world would need to take somewhat of a political shift for people in power to be that understanding and empathetic. Because I think that the people that are currently in power are those of a bit more ego-centered and maybe narcissistic. But when I think of people that, like I've been watching a lot of the Green Party and their videos on social media, I have no doubt that Zach, I can't remember his last name. Is it Zach? Leader of the Green Party?
I don't know.
He'd probably be like, you know what, yeah, let's let the humanity survive. But he's not going to get as many views because he's a little bit more understanding. But anyway, we're going to move on. Number 4. Which pain in my life have I romanticized because healing it would erase part of my identity?
Do you know what my brain jumped to?
What?
The fact that I chase attention and all of that stuff. Like, yeah, like I love that. Yeah, it's great. It keeps me motivated, you know? There's two sides to it.
Yeah, so you're clinging to the wound, air quotes, because they give us meaning. They give us a way to navigate.
Yeah, but it's horrible. It doesn't make it nice.
Yeah. I think it depends if it's a case of whether it limits growth or not. You know, because it's proof of survival. It's proof that you can continue to work solidly through something. But if they're going to limit growth, that's when maybe a conversation needs to be had with oneself. But it's also what type of growth is it limiting? You know, is it personal? Is it professional? Is it emotional?
Yeah, emotional and personal. Destroyed.
Ah, wonderful. Tick. Yeah. We don't need to look at them.
No. But it's, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a wound. Like, my lack of being able to process things emotionally and, like, in my personal life. Maybe it's, like, I just put, like, a piece of plasterboard in front of that. It's like, it could break through, but for now, it seems to be keeping you at bay. So, just do business stuff.
I think it's very much how it would take shape in one's life. I think there's someone, and I'll probably say this more off camera, but I can name a few people on the outskirts of friendships that have similar self-deprecating maybe views on themselves. I'm not saying yours is self-deprecating, but they use it as negative fuel to the fire rather than positive. So it's interesting because, yeah, maybe you could say you have romanticized the need or the want for affection, but is maybe that in itself a covering, a shell of what maybe a deeper issue, if it is an issue, might be? You know, how are we to know that? Because right now that's just what feels most first and foremost and your best foot forwards in many ways. I could say, yeah, maybe it might erase some of your identity, but it would help you shape a new one.
That would be better.
Could be.
This is why I think I'm approaching that breaker switch in my life, where I just want to, like, shift how I view the world and whatever.
Maybe it's starting the pod as well, because it's actually, one, making you think
in a different way. Yeah, well, I didn't want to give you the credit, but yeah.
But two, this is going to shape into a very authentic, real, personable business, whatever that might be, personal brand, whatever this might shape into. And as you develop as an adult, this is going to be a great way for us to continue to develop such an authentic experience. And it might be that this is where you're like, you know what, this is where I'm able to be authentically myself. I'm not chasing validation because the podcast itself is self-validating, because we're having these honest conversations and people just appear to be listening.
Yeah, it's true.
But we don't know, because ultimately we're not going to know until we're in that time. And then when that time comes, we'll look back with hindsight, but then we'll also be worrying about what's coming forwards.
Yeah, but I like, this podcast is going to be successful. I know it 100%. Is, like, in my head, but like the quality of the stuff we're putting out is higher than the views we're getting. Therefore,
agreed. There
is a delta there that is going to be absorbed by growth in viewership and subscribers. Like, it's just going to happen. And yeah, I think it's fun. You know how I quite regularly say I love this bit where, like, it's all exciting, like, you are making higher quality stuff than people would expect from a smaller channel. Therefore, like, people are like, oh, like, they're still impressed. It's like, being 400k is like, it's not good, because the pressure maybe that I put on myself, but also I would say the expectation of a 400k channel was so much higher. It's like, you can't afford to just be lazy on an edit. It's like,
I get you. Yeah, I do understand that there's more pressure as you get bigger and bigger and bigger, but then ultimately that's where growth is as well, and that's why you've made decisions like hiring editors, and so the game becomes, the game is the same, but the level, the league, it becomes higher.
Yeah.
So a pain in my life that I've romanticized healing, or romanticized because healing it would erase part of my identity. I've got two to answer on this. One from the past, one from the present. I'll start with the present because it's a bit more light-hearted. But it's the romanticize the pain of like body dysmorphia, for instance. You know, I go to the gym religiously and I take care of what I eat and how I train and how I look because I don't like how I look, and I've romanticized that feeling because it means that I get to train harder in the gym and push harder in the gym. You know, I wake up some days I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm feeling big. Look at me. Ooh, then there's other days I'm like, bro, you are small. Let's work on your arms and your shoulders.
You still wear baggy t-shirts.
I'll always wear baggy t-shirts. That's my identity. It's great. I love it. I also wear baggy t-shirts in the gym. It's great because people don't look at me. And then when I do high rock sessions, I take off and I'm wearing like a tank top. People are like, okay.
Yeah. But that's probably my own insecurity of like I just need attention. So it's like if I was to get muscles, it would be to show them off, you know.
For me, they're self-validating.
Yeah.
But again, I've romanticized that like chase. You know, that's what it is. It's the chase of the pursuit. Because ultimately, you can never win in the gym. And I don't want to be the biggest guy. I don't want to be the strongest guy. I just want to be in shape.
You want to be the most aesthetic guy.
I don't know about that.
For nobody to look at.
Because ultimately, aesthetics is very much in the eye of the person that's looking. You know, like aesthetics, you could say, is Chris Bumstead, like Mr. Olympia, however many times. He's incredible. He has built his body.
Yeah.
But that may not be everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, it's true.
And then the second in which I think of the pain
one.
Yeah.
Let's go deep.
That I've worked on is obviously I used to self-harm a lot in my life when I was younger through adolescence. I almost romanticized the self-harm because it was an identity I could attach to. Because at that time, I was searching for someone that I thought Connor is and could be. Now I know who that person is, but then I wanted some sort of identity. And I felt like I could almost identify with the pain, the suffering, the self-harm. So I romanticized those feelings and what came with it because it gave me a sense of identity. Whereas now, I don't detest, I understand it's a part of me, but like this whole side of me is obviously covered in scars. And now I'm like, if I could take them away, I would. And there's going to come a time, maybe, if I have kids, where I'll have to explain to my children what these scars on my arm are. I have to always explain it in a new relationship. Sometimes I have to re-explain it to friends because they've forgotten, they're shocked when they see it again. So when I was younger, I identified with that and I romanticized that. And as I got older, I had to learn to break down that romanticized view of myself or the self-deprecating self-harm and lose that part of my identity. And I was scared to because I had attached to it. That was an identity that I found with. Whereas now I'm so proud of the person I am that I'm like, I don't need that identity. Yeah. Actually, I've got another one as well. Wow, I could do a third,
Go on,
which would be weed. Again, I identified as the stoner. I romanticized with being the stoner because it gave me some sort of identity. Oh, Connor's the stoner. He's a cool, chilled out stoner. Which just stopped me from doing any inner work. Because I get to 6 p.m. in the evening, I would be so baked I didn't know what planet I was on.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Are you, looking back at that, are you proud of like how far you've come now? Sorry. Do you celebrate yourself for how you come?
Nice. I love that you always throw that back at me.
But that's your preferred terminology. I wouldn't want to.
I think it's when it comes to someone else, so I'll celebrate you, but I wouldn't be proud. It's something I maybe work on. I need to.
So it's okay if I say I'm proud of
because
how far you've come. That's fine.
If you want to, that's you. Yeah. I am, but I'm also not. I am because I understand I've done a lot of work. But the problem is you're always going to live in your own lens and you're always going to be aware of the things you've done, said, and actions you've taken that I'm like, man, I've got to consciously choose every day to be this better version of myself. Because there's always a part of me, well, actually less so now, but there's always a choice that could be made to flip back to the stoner to the guy that identifies with pain rather than chooses optimism. So I am proud.
Well, you should be just proud of the fact that you have made that decision so many days in a row, you know? So many years in a row.
It's tough, man. It's really tough. Some days it's harder than others. I think I've smoked weed twice in the last 4 years.
Damn, that's good for you.
Yeah, man.
You used to do it every night.
Yeah, during COVID, twice a day.
Yeah, I know. It's like you used to sleep and get up for shifts.
Yeah, that. Yeah, trying to go to bed at 7 p.m, 8 p.m, so I could get up at 3 a.m. was
mental.
Brutal.
Absolute mental.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I am. Yeah, I couldn't do that now. You're still young.
No, I'm not.
Young and active and
I'm not
hip. I mean, I told you I jarred my neck and now I'm stuck and I've got a race in like 5 days and I can't move my neck. I'm driving like this. I'm having to turn my whole body to drive.
I can't live like that.
What?
Druggy and...
It didn't serve me. It really didn't serve me. But I think the reasons I romanticized them was because I didn't want to do the work that would come with fixing it. Whereas now I've done that work, I no longer am putting it on a pedestal. I no longer romanticize it because I see the negatives that come with it. And the 2 times I did smoke weed after, or self-harmed after, it was unbelievable guilt because it was, now I've got this clear head on my shoulders that can look back and go, that's a mistake. You know, I look at it with love and I hope you're okay, bro, but you fucked up. Like, that's not the person you are. Let's not live like this anymore. Don't be that person. Not grow up or man up, but it's like, make better choices. But it's difficult because we romanticize parts of ourselves that can stop healing or save us from pain. But then what's that cost?
Tough.
Very tough, man. So who would you be if you no longer needed that story, that internal monologue of the pain? Do you think you'd be a different person if you didn't identify with maybe some of the pains or the issues that we've kind of pushed to the side?
Yeah, I think I'd be a lot healthier.
Define healthy, though.
Well, not eating microwave meals every day. Like, I'd have a more active social life. I think I would have more stories to tell. I think I'd have more experience-based lifestyle.
But do you think those are your values? Do you think they're more things that you want? Because right now, you are the person in the friendship group that people come to for advice when it comes to business. You know?
Yeah. I like
people
that.
don't come to me for that.
Yeah, but it happens with time. It's like it's weird. If I went into the friendship group as the person who was thinking in the business ways, so I think people have just associated me with that identity, and that's fine. Like, I do know stuff about it, so I'm always happy to help. That's the other thing. I think I have the heart of a teacher rather than the heart of somebody that's gonna keep everything close. It's like, I just don't care. Like, if you want to go successful in business, like, cool, do you? But it's hard work.
It's because you understand that their success doesn't take away from yours. You'll use it as positive inspiration, but it doesn't take away from your success.
Yeah, I think there's just I don't know. I don't know how much of it is like, when people met me, I was the business guy in terms of thinking the way I was talking about personal finance, and therefore I'm just labelled with that in their heads. So it's like, I just go to Huel. But yeah, no, I would like to travel more, but I can't do that without guilt at the moment. So it's, what do I need to do to remove that guilt? And it might be, I think, probably buying a house. As soon as I bought a house, then I'll probably go travelling, which is probably the wrong way around to do it. But then again...
Is there a right way?
Well, financially speaking, if you buy the house first, you don't have the money to go travelling.
But then also, if you go travelling, you won't have the money to buy the house.
Yeah, it's... yeah.
But the goal is to get to the point where you can still have the house and go away and have adventures.
Yeah, that's the goal. But then if you own the house and then you go travelling, it's like you've just got a dormant house. So then you rent out the house that you've just bought, which is like you've just bought a house for somebody else to... But if you buy the house with a mortgage, which is hopefully not what I'm going to do, I'm hoping just buy one cash for this very reason. If I want to rent it out, then your mortgage becomes invalid if you bought it as if you're going to live there. So it's like, what do you do? But yeah, hopefully we could buy a house for the summer and then Airbnb it while we're travelling, because it's in Cornwall, so it's like
people would definitely want to move out there.
Airbnb.
Stay out there.
Get a couple of grand a week. Be nice.
Very lovely.
Especially if we go to Asia.
Yeah, come join me. Come out to Indo.
We are seriously planning potentially on going to Bali.
Really?
Yeah, to meet you, not
Seriously?
not for our own holiday.
Let's do it.
But it'll be sort of. I want to come back for this conference if it's on the 19th and 20th. So it'll be like probably the first 2 weeks of May.
So maybe it'd be a case of after, or I could factor in when you wanted to be in Bali and make sure I'm there at that time.
Yeah, but I don't want to rush you, because then you'll come back and you'll be like, oh, Will, I have to rush my way around China because of you, or wherever you're going.
China. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, but if what I was thinking is once I'm done with Malaysia, I'd fly into like northern, so like Sumatra, because you've got Sumatra, Java, Bali. There's tons of the islands that go down.
That was a lot of noises.
I know. I was going to fly into Sumatra and go through Java into Bali, but I could go to Bali, hang out with you, go up to Sumatra and come back down.
Mm.
So like, there's ways we could work around it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You could pick us up from the airport in a tuk-tuk.
Could you imagine? That'd be so funny. Soph would be like, oh my god, holding on to the door that isn't there. That'd be so funny. Right, Will, we've done 4 today. We've smashed through them. What truths have I been circling for years but refused to name out loud? Whose voice lives rent-free in my head, and how much of my life have I built trying to please it? What do I secretly envy, and what does that envy reveal about what I've abandoned in myself? Which pain in my life have I romanticized because healing it would erase part of my identity? Is there any there that jump out at you, the one that you've done, maybe have the most resistance towards, maybe the one that you found the most enjoyable to discuss?
What was the second one again?
Second one was, whose voice lives rent-free in my head, and how much of my life have I built trying to please it?
Yeah, that one.
That one.
And I think also what you said about the acknowledging that it's not actually that person, it's your own insecurities that are being channeled through that person's face for whatever reason.
Yeah.
That hit.
That's just a person that we've put on a pedestal that we've now attached our thoughts and feelings to, and it's just their faces we're using as the projectile.
Yeah. What about you?
When I look back on our episode, which pain in my life have I romanticized because healing it would erase part of my identity? The reason I picked that one is because I think it's had such a profound impact throughout my life. So when I think back about the choices I've made and the work that I've done to change those things and the identities I used to align with, I think that's the one where I've done the most work with. The voice rent-free in my head, absolutely. That's a super profound conversation to have, and I would encourage anyone to have that. But the romanticize of a pain is one that I think I've actively partaken in. So that is us out of time, Will.
I do have one more question.
Oh, yes, please.
Is it scone or scone?
Scone.
I think so as well.
Okay, on that topic, is it cream first, so clotted cream, and then jam, or is it jam and clotted cream?
What do I do normally? I know you're supposed to put the cream on then the jam.
Well, no, it depends. So there's a Devon way and a Cornwall way. I know which way I assign.
I think cream and then jam.
Yeah, agreed. Me too.
Yeah, but I think I've said previously on the podcast jam and then cream.
You
So
did,
it genuinely depends on
yeah. For me, it's a cream. You know, that's a more of a thick layer. So it's like gonna form a good base, and the jam kind of like slops on top.
But the way I see it is like toast. When you have jam on toast, you have butter jam, and then if you were to put like Marmite or something nice on top of that, then you'd put that on top of the jam. You wouldn't put the jam on top of the Marmite.
I wouldn't use either of those on toast.
Do you not like Marmite?
Peanut butter.
I don't like peanut butter.
You're wrong.
Yeah, sorry. It's just, me and Soph had a longer than it should have been argument about whether it's scone or scone. She says scone.
Very posh.
Yeah, well, it's also... So we did some research.
Okay.
If you're from Scotland or Wales or the north of England, you call it scone.
Yeah.
If you're from the south of England, you call it scone.
Yeah.
If you're from the west, you call it scone. and there was like a weird middle bit where it's still sort of scone.
Screwy.
Yeah, but it's like, because we were talking, it's like, oh, well, if we move to Cornwall, our kids are gonna like say scone. Like, yeah, but that's wrong.
No, they'll pick up on you're like scone.
Hopefully,
scone.
But they'll also
Scone.
be speaking Spanish, so
Will they?
yeah, because I'm gonna make sure that my kids know how to speak Spanish.
You don't know how to speak Spanish.
I disagree.
See.
See what?
Well, I've written down my word for the day.
Yeah.
Are you gonna guess it? Let's find out.
Banana.
No.
Oh, was it apple again? Was it cantaloupe?
It was sticky.
Sticky. Yes, it was.
Oh, a sticky banana.